So on the question of whether money is good or evil, it's pretty clear to me that it's just simply a reflection of the person using it. It seems that's a pretty common misconception that goes around, and especially in American culture, that money is evil. Seems most likely and most often this is coming from people who don't have money, and look at people who have wealth and think that the stereotype of the greedy, wealthy millionaire, billionaire is an absolute truth, and it's fundamentally, it's absolutely not. So we have to understand that money is an object, it's a man-made concept and system put in place, and we have to see that any good system that's put into place is going to be inherently neutral, right? It's not going to be good or bad or biased outright to anybody in particular when starting out. Now, of course, with the monetary system, we see a bias towards those who have money, just because when you have financial resources, you can leverage those to make more. But at its core, every single family and every individual who started from nothing had to start from nothing at some point. And the similar things you see in sort of the waves and sort of curves of how wealth comes and goes. Most generational inheritances and wealth transfers don't last more than a few generations, because the people who receive the wealth don't know how to actually manage and build it like people who earned it. And so you see that it's actually almost more of a curse, it seems, a lot of times, to inherit wealth without understanding how to manage it, because then you're just basically doomed to the misery of having to lose it slowly and gradually and not knowing how to get around it or anything like that. So sort of in this frame of mind, if we're looking at whether it's good or evil, if it's inherently swayed one way or the other, one of the biggest problems that I see is people's just overall fear of this object, thinking that it has some kind of divine sway or greater power inherently imbued in it. And we have to first of all understand that that's not the case. It's a simple construct of human design that has worked for millennia. Going back as far as we know, we have some kind of trade and monetary system, whether it be animals, gold, whatever it might be. But when we fear this idea of wealth and money, we automatically elevate its power over us and sway over us into a level that it should never have. Right? It should only ever be a tool to use for good. It should only be a tool to use for good. And whether it's used for good or bad, it's only ever a tool, regardless of that direction. So what it seems to me is most clear is that money is something that reflects the intent of the person using it. And we have this tendency to like to cast the blame on things that are not us and that we're not responsible for. You can see this as a truth across society and culture at large, how we like to cast the blame on objects and systems that are made by man, when in reality these systems are at best apathetic to the direction they go, whether they're used for good or for evil. And really they're instead at the mercy of the will and intentions of the people who are using them. We have authority given to us over these things we've created, and we can choose to use them for the betterment of society or to the detriment of society. And when we remember this, we can really see that money is no different from any other system created by man. It is something that we can use for good or for evil, despite our inclination to want to elevate it to be something more than it is. And while this idea comes with the added burden of responsibility for our actions, it also brings with it the freedom of not being a slave to something created by man. And it also brings with it the ability to wield such a tool to lift people up and to actually build things for the betterment of society. And it's the responsibility of those who actually have pure intentions and who seek to use it for good, to be able to understand it in a way that we can actually use it for good. And so yeah, that's it's a really brief, I guess, overview of what exactly I see as being the misconception. But again, I think it's super important, especially for anybody who wants to build wealth, who has ambition to make a positive impact. Ultimately and fundamentally, it is a tool that is required to be used in this physical world that gives access to things in this world. And so if you have ambition to make a positive impact, it's something that you need to uh, learn to wield and use in a positive manner, because it is the language, the framework that we operate in this world, I mean, that we have operated in for millennia. So yeah, that's all I've got for today. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.